believe in you.
Hey, I'm Tommy. I'm talking so Jesse can hear.
You're on.
Yup. We're in
Tommy's
it.
on there.
In it to win it.
There he
Tommy's
is.
on there. No, I'm on there. There we go.
Hey, the
Audio
boys
is
are in.
fixed. Yeah.
The boys are back in town. Ooh, your boy just
did it.
going 15-8 on Halo like a noob.
Hey, noob.
Anubis.
Alright, we're good.
Nice.
Hello.
Halo.
Howdy-o. Halo. Terrible game. Don't know why I play
Halo.
it. Absolute garbage. Truly trash. They made money off this? Oh, man.
This again. Same old. I gotta put some Halo clips on the playlist.
More rings, please. That's what everyone's asking for. The campaign in this is truly
Rings.
garbage.
I'll believe it. I take your word for it.
It has
Do not
guys.
see
is
myself
garbage.
getting into Halo. I tried
Okay,
PUBG,
it's garbage.
and that's probably about the closest I'm likely to get to playing a Halo again. And gave up on that after just a couple of days because I couldn't tell what the sound was really overwhelming. I couldn't tell where anything was ever coming from. It was just either there are gunshots or there are not gunshots.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, well, it could be anywhere. So I would just get shot. And then that happened to me, I don't know, 8 to 10 times. And I was like, maybe PUBG's not for me.
Nah, I like.
In between time is too much.
The in-between time is really pretty brutal.
No
I guess Warzone kind of countered that with the Gulag thing, right? Do they still do that?
I think so. I haven't played.
Yeah. Same story as with Warzone. Well, Warzone, Call of Duty is just not a great game.
Not a huge.
They're like serviceable. The campaigns are like good mindless fun. There's the one where I think I only saw a video of it, but the one where you cut off Kevin Spacey's arm so that he falls off a building at the end.
Oh, what? That's awesome.
That shit was great. I think that might have been, I want to say Black Ops 2, which actually I think I did play. I don't remember though.
Yeah,
But
they were fun to
it's
go
this-
through the storyline in a setting or two. Just
yeah,
to
it was
have
just
a
like
kooky time.
it was like a fun, meaningless Tom Clancy roller coaster ride.
Mm-hmm.
I guess that was the Rainbow Six. I don't know if Rainbow Six ever had like a campaign.
Yeah, my friend keeps trying to tell me to
did.
play that Siege thing.
Oh yeah, that's been out and going strong for a while, right?
Yeah.
that's been out for a good 4 years, 5 years.
Yeah, it's definitely seemed to be holding its own.
Holding its niche.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's some shit.
I can't believe.
Good for them.
That's nice.
That's
so nice.
fantastic.
You know what else is nice? Introducing the show. Now that we've talked for however many minutes,
Well,
almost
it's
5.
like, when you're at the gym, you get a little warm-up jog first, get your blood pumping.
Getting our tongues waggling,
Mm-hmm.
stretching,
Yes.
Wagging
stretching our
fingers and
jaws.
tongues. Boy, howdy.
Boy, howdy.
Did I tell you about that book I bought that I was, so surprised that I purchased on,
You did, I think, mention this, but I don't remember if it was on the show or not. And
regardless, I'm not going to go on it for a tangent. But
do you want
interesting.
to introduce the show and then do your tangent?
You introduced the show. I didn't introduce it. No.
I'm asking you if you want to do it. You don't have to.
No, you do it. You do it.
All right, cool.
You and the show are so cool.
I was giving you the option of introducing the show so that I would feel less bad about interrupting you.
No, show would be pissed if I did it.
Show would
Nah,
be pissed.
Yeah, we have to keep show happy or bad things.
Interesting.
it's true. People do audiences like consistency.
Of course.
We'll have to talk to our producers about this.
Yeah, true. Long
we
discussion.
here at How to Kick Flip a Horse say, fuck the producers, we are them. And
We
welcome
are
to
them.
How to Kick Flip a Horse, the show that happens sometimes. This week we're doing what we call From the Horse's Mouth, where we sit around and talk about a bunch of nerd shit. For, about like an hour and a half or however long it winds up being.
Mm-hmm.
And we are doing it. Doing our schedule mandated hangout.
Yay.
telling each other about the stuff we've been doing, the games we played, the movies and games we have seen and played, and in this case, books we have purchased and read.
And banzookas that we've read.
And
I
banzookas that have
don't know
been...
what that is, but we also
we
talk about
covered
sumo.
this last time.
Oh shit! Sorry, I
I
don't
don't
have
think
my
we-
I don't have my sumo vocab list open.
That's okay.
But yeah, so Tommy, start us off. Tell us about this book again.
Oh yeah. Cool thing about this book was that I was in Salem, and I saw like this person doing Gyotaku, which is like the fish prints where they like ink a fish and then put like rice paper on it. So then like I was like totally intrigued by this. So then like I was like, I wonder if they have any like books on it. And I looked it up, and there was like one book that was printed in like the '60s through like the University of Seattle or something, and it was like selling for like hundreds of dollars. And I was like, dang, that's like major bummer. I was like, I won't buy this book then. And then like I'm looking at it, it's like listed on Amazon, and it's like for like $180 or whatever, and it's like also buy it used. And there's of all the listings that are ballparked between like $200 and $500, there's just this one that was listed for like $36. So I was like, oh shit! And I was like, all right, I'll just roll the dice on that. And they're like, yeah, the cover is a little fucked up, and it's not at all, not by my standard. And and like, yeah, so then I got it, and then like when I was there was like another book on the same subject matter. So then I was like, oh well, I guess I'll like get that book too, because like now I'm on this like buying used books kick for like 16. Like this book was like half the price, so I was like, holy shit, like that's great.
Cool.
And then
Nothing like a deal.
yeah, so then I got all the supplies to do this, and that's its own conundrum, because I don't know if I like it's weird because like you gotta like I don't know, if you use a certain ink you can like catch a fish and release it, but a lot of times it's under the assumption that you're like keeping the fish to like eat it and stuff.
Sure.
So so
There's
sometimes,
plenty of non-toxic.
yeah, you can use cuttlefish ink. Actually, I found out, and I found out that cuttlefish ink can sometimes have squid ink or any other animal that produces ink. It's not always exclusive to cuttlefish.
This one is horse ink.
Yes.
Whoa.
I wouldn't trust that though. send that back. But
It'll
then,
be fine. Next thing you're
yeah.
gonna tell me not to trust the horse milk.
Well, no. You know what?
Have you
I
been
saw the
drinking the
other
horse
myself.
milk?
Whoever's selling that to you, tell them to call me.
I got
But
it.
all the same, I like. So then when I was there, ordered another book, and then I just thought it was interesting. I opened up the first page of the other book, and it like on the first page it references the book that I just bought, and it's just
wow.
it's just like, oh, by the way, like this is like a key resource for like, and, this guy like helped bring this art form to America in the way that they were doing it, and I just thought it was all so self-referential and cool, and it was all like sitting
yeah.
on my shelf at the
Yeah,
exact
very
same
cool.
time. So I was like, oh wow,
little legitimate chunk of history there, a little chunk of art and culture.
yeah, I thought, and then
Can you tell me the name of this art form again, or
yeah.
better yet, spell it for me?
It's interesting. They even have like the first page is like, what is this? So it's Gyotaku, and then I believe they break it down. I think Gyo is that means fish. Taco means here. Gyo, means fish, and then the other ones mean stone monument rubbing in Taku. But it's funny because they make a distinction here that I thought was pretty funny on like pronunciation, and they're like, you don't want to say like this or the other thing, but like if a lover were to like leave you a impression of like maybe like lipstick on a napkin,
Sure.
as like as a memento. It would be called, what is it, like, oh man, I'm butchering this. Oh, Gyotaku, and that means like an impression of a person. And it's just like it's just so funny. It's like the subtlest of like pronunciations, like
Right,
will
one
radically
letter
change.
off.
Yeah.
You're saying something you're talking about different lips.
Yeah, suddenly you're really putting your foot in your mouth, and it's pretty much the distinction that they're like making. But yeah, it's all pretty cool. It's all pretty
Jesse,
cool
we got any Gyotaku YouTube?
How do you spell it again?
GYO
Yeah.
PAKU.
Gyotaku Fishman. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
But yeah, there's a guy.
was trying to catch up, but I didn't want to.
No,
it's all good. If it's in service of the show, I think it's fine to interrupt.
I mean, I am just
First,
shocked.
you paint the fish.
Yeah, it's like you gotta like do all these things. Gonna update this thing real quick.
Look at that.
I do have a game-related talk. I think we talked about this already, though.
Excuse me.
You can talk about it again.
But
Man, that's cool as shit. And they just do this shit with real fucking fish? That's nuts.
yeah, like the birth of it is being like, well, the big birth of it apparently was like a old emperor wanted to record his catches, and that was like the most viable way of doing it. But then
just press it on some paper.
But like it was actually
Fucking detailed.
yeah, it gets like that was like its most simplistic form, and then the art form is birthed from that, and then there's like 3 methods that I guess are like the most popular. But yeah, it all seems pretty cool. The guy in
colored ones are really impressive too.
Yeah, the guy in Salem was right across the street from this tattoo studio called Hemlock. If you're ever in the Salem area or anything, the guy's named Jono. Is a fantastic tattoo artist. But they're right across the street from one another, and I was like, Rachel was getting tattooed, so I just like walked across the street, and I'm like, it just said fish prints, and I was like, sold. I was like, let's get in there.
Done.
And and he's like, dude, it's a shame that he says. The guy was like, I was like talking his ear off. He's like, it's a shame, like in the off season, the owner, this guy was like just kind of like, I wouldn't say apprentice, but kind of. He was like, the owner just does like classes for anyone that's willing to show up like on these certain days as just like a community thing. And then he showed us this freaking. The dude was like, yo, you know that TV show, the fishing TV show? And I like pretended to know what it was. And I was just like, yeah, dude. And he was like, I think it's the tuna-based fishing, John. And he was like, check this out. And he showed the tail of like what they believe, before the show's over, but it's a strong front runner for the biggest fish caught on the show, or for that season maybe. And the guy shows you this tail of a tuna, and it's like crazy because it's probably like, I don't know, it's probably like if you put your fists together, like in the middle of your chest, like from your elbows to the middle, like it would be kind of that archway of the fish.
That's big.
But then he's like, yo, but check this out. He's like, look at a tuna and look how small their fucking tails are. And then like he showed me what like a 300-pound tuna looks like, and its tail is like way small. So he's like, the fact that this fish is like, it's this size, which is huge, is only more telling of how fucking gigantic the actual fish was. So, which is like, I have like a love-hate relationship with all that, but I was like, that's still pretty cool.
Definitely.
Yeah. But yeah, that's about
cool.
That's my Gyotaku seminar. Thanks for coming.
He's gonna paint the fish on the
I hope
screen
I
right
left
now.
an impression on you.
Oh boy.
Oh boy! I'll get some tape for your sides.
It surely did.
Because they are split.
Ow. My sides. I have to go to the hospital. No, really.
But please.
My God, how it hurts. It's funny that we're talking about fish because one of the things I did want to talk about was a game I saw called "You Must Become a Crab"
Whoa.
Oh,
by
go.
Dr. Two Scoops on Reddit, and I'm sending a link to that post in the Discord there if you can bring that up.
Yeah.
One-page RPG. I highly recommend following the one-page RPGs subreddit because there's lots of good and hilarious stuff on there, such as "You Must Become a Crab."
This guy's about to do the pressing of this fish. I really want to see the end of
Oh,
this.
okay.
Oh, is that on?
Sure.
Is that? I'm not even on the
He's been
stream.
painting it green.
Oh.
Shout out to City of Brownsville, Texas YouTube channel.
Huh. They're just
Just gonna go ahead and paint that fish.
Slap that Joan together real quick.
you gotta really make sure it's painted. Don't get any on your cardboard.
Let me say the Lord's Prayer.
Now the fish is truly dead. It won't come back to life after this.
This is the most humane way we can do it.
It's just this every time. Oh my. Well, at least we're our biggest fans.
Oh my god.
I mean, I'm having a blast.
Oh,
A hoot.
yeah. This is
A real
amazing.
hoot, man. No, it's very cool. It's like the only thing is like it's like it said you have to like I
Make
would
it a
see
punk patch.
Right,
yeah.
make it a back patch. That'd be very cool.
And that paper that they use is I think pretty durable. It's
Yeah.
rice paper.
Sure. It
But
looks
like-
like just cloth.
And it's cool, like they'll
Very
do
cool.
this thing where like they'll do like a second pressing, and it'll give it like a shadowy effect as if there was another one like right behind it. And there's all sorts of really cool
Do
stuff.
like a
Like,
red one on top of a blue one. Get some 3D glasses type stuff going.
yeah, dude, and they'll find like those lotus flowers, like the lotus leaf petals and stuff, and like other like weird. You must become a crab.
There it
Very
is.
cool stuff. 2 to 4 players.
The second page is the rules. If you click to the right on that.
Oh, geez.
On the post itself.
I don't know what I'm doing. Oh, there is a second page. Why? This.
Ew. Welcome to read it.
It's different.
Now
Now Reddit is fun a little bit, maybe. I don't know. I do it on my phone.
It
there you go.
There you go. So yeah, it's just very simple. I don't no dice. Just a way to facilitate people talking about turning into a crab together.
I just read the.
Pat Sajak makes an appearance.
Yep.
Bob Barker, Regis Philbin, and Alex Trebek are acceptable alternatives to Pat Sajak. I like that kind of customization in my games. I like games that give you a broad goal and then sort of some ideas on how to get there, but doesn't really dictate, the exact steps. And I just think crabs and the idea of playing as crabs is very funny.
I also think that
And-
the punishment is horse features, which is
Yeah, that's also a fun little coincidence.
little tie-in.
A little tie-in. Maybe Dr. Two Scoops is a Hitka fan.
Hey,
Hope
That
so.
would be cool.
I love this.
Bless his heart.
The
bless
least
his heart.
horse-like animal, the horse.
Is that what it says?
Yeah,
No, it says, wait, doesn't it say the
Naughty-
least crab-like?
that's what I meant. Yeah, naughty players with
Yeah.
bad intentions will be punished with horse features, the least crab-like animal. Whatever I said was wrong.
Yes.
I thought you were pointing out a
Oh, typey.
typo.
No,
Yeah.
no. I'm just an idiot. But I also
That's
like the
okay.
alternative rules with acceptable.
Yeah,
Replacements.
definitely. Some good ones on there.
The ghost of Alex Trebek now, unfortunately. R.I.P. the baby. Didn't he die? He's dead, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Regis too, I believe.
Yeah.
Oh
Regis
yeah,
died,
that's
too.
true. Rejo.
I don't think he just died. I think he died in like 2008 or something.
Who
Long
said
ago,
just? Did I say just?
Oh, I thought you did. I don't know.
Maybe.
But yeah, we're what was I gonna say? I got distracted thinking about Crab Battle.
Oh, crab battle.
Stumbled across that today while looking for crab themed videos for background while we talked about this.
How much of it did you watch?
What's that?
How much of it did you get through? Did you watch it?
Oh, the whole thing. I watched the whole thing.
Okay.
It didn't have the extended cut. I couldn't find that one.
No.
I would like to know more about what was that thing you guys were all talking about? The crab baseball, or the baseball team was the crab.
Baseball.
Oh, Blaseball.
Yeah,
I haven't checked out Blaseball in a long time. They made it too complicated for me. It was too many steps.
it seems like a lot.
It got more intense. But, I mean, it gets as intense as just, like, watching a baseball clicker gets. But I was just doing it all the time at work.
Yeah. Lots of...
I also just, like...
Who would have thought that fake sports gambling would be so successful?
Right?
Really scratches the itch.
But then cool things would happen, like... Umpires would start blasting players with their laser eyes.
Did you guys ever win at Morrowind? Did you ever like play Morrowind? Like, huh?
I played it a fair amount. I never really went after like the main quest at all. I always just sort of wound up wandering around, just finding stuff to look at and fight.
Dang, I don't have a load score anymore. Oh, that's brutal.
Weird.
Yeah, I had made something, but all the like most of the Redditors that I was like, yeah, I usually fuck around with the game until like level 20, and then I fuck off.
Sure.
And I'm like, but now I see they got Oblivion up on here. I haven't played one of them shitty games in forever. They're too time consuming.
Really, Oblivion might be the most aptly named video game of all time.
True time.
I lost a lot of hours to that shit.
Yeah, Oblivion.
Between that and Skyrim and like the fucking Fallout games.
Yeah,
so many.
Fallout games.
So many.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, you know, they're good games.
Oh, yeah, I mean.
Nerd.
For me to poop on.
For a frigid nerd.
Well, I don't know about you guys, but I have a shot of whiskey here that I'm going to take. So, cheers to you guys, and cheers to viewers.
Viewers and players alike.
Yeah.
Equals together.
It's a crab out. Stop saying that.
A little crab off. Feel a little crabby.
God. Crab battle.
Y'all fuck around with Stardew Valley?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, great game.
I've played many hundreds of hours of that as well. I don't know really where I get all the time that I've spent on these games, but it happens.
But I figured it out.
Yeah. Bit more meditative than a game like Oblivion or Skyrim or Fallout, though.
Yeah, that game's amazing.
Yeah. I had a friend kind of explain it. Was like, yeah, like you don't realize you're really playing the game, and then it kind of like comes together a little bit. Cause like, isn't there like a plot, but you don't really have to. I mean, isn't there like a?
Yeah, you
there's
never
like
actually
little.
have to give a shit about the plot.
Yeah, like, there's bones to it, but you don't have to dig them up. Yeah,
Exactly.
Yeah, it's not like a plot. Excuse me, I have to sneeze.
You got this.
I remember I wasted a lot of playtime on Terraria. If you guys ever fucked around with that one, I did.
Excuse me.
I played it on the PlayStation.
What's that?
It was
Terraria.
Terraria.
Oh yeah, Terraria's pretty tight.
Yeah, little sandbox boy.
I liked Starbound a little bit more because it's the same game but with space.
I know. I just saw that, and I like just recently started kind of like messing around with the character, and I was just like, "Do you want to do this, Tommy? Is this really?
Is this how you want to spend the rest of your summer?
Yeah, right.
The rest of 2022 going out on space sandbox.
Oh my, yeah.
Sandbox.
They got all
That's
these.
funny. That's the second. That was the second time someone mentioned baseball today. I was watching a stream earlier where they mentioned it. I was thinking about checking it out, and they're off right now, so I can't even checking it out.
Oh my god!
Can't even check it out.
Checking it out.
Can't even check
Can't
it
even
out.
checking it out.
Get out of that library because you're not checking out anything.
But that's definitely a good example of like a very non-traditional type of game, which I think is kind of what I was. Another thing I wanted to get at with You Must Become a Crab is that since it's no like dice rolls, it's not really like it's not a role-playing game per se. But that got me thinking about just like different types of like role-playing game campaigns, because like I did that game jam, and a lot of those game jam games were solo games, and I've never played a solo game, but so like I don't really have any conception of how that would even shake out. And I was curious if you guys had any experience with that, or like solo board games or any other like non-traditional type of tabletop stuff besides like, you know, the standard D&D campaign style play like what we do here, or like West Marches style campaigns. Have you guys ever had any experience with that or heard of it at all?
No, what is that?
So that's like that apparently was like a more old school D&D, like a way of playing. Like the idea was that there would be many more players, with the assumption that not all of them would be making it. Like it was sort of like a ad hoc campaign where I guess not campaign it like as much as sort of like a precursor to like sandbox style play.
Right.
Where the map is consistent, but the group of players at the table is not necessarily, but they can like go to the same stuff as the other players, and it's just a matter of like who gets there first, I guess.
Just PUBG tabletop?
That would be pretty wild. People would get upset getting kicked out of that early.
Wasting my damn time.
What system do you think you would use for running a PUBG tabletop?
Jesus.
I would. I wonder if like. I wonder if like Blades would almost be a good one where you're like, it's really loose. Like if you would play PUBG, would there be any like story element, or would you just? I'm curious, like, because if I would run it like a dungeon crawl versus like,
right,
your characters are in this very surreal, once in a lifetime moment where it's all happening, or if I'm just playing like this is the grind. I think it'd be interesting to think of it in like a story terms, where you're like in a smaller resource, you know, gathering kind of tight deal, but then I would like to use something loose like that, like Blades or something. But if it was like, you know, HP, like, you know, how many hit points, AC and everything, I might go with like a more traditional, you know, setup just to get
you could do. I feel like the real draw I think of a game like PUBG is the tactical element, and I think Blades so thoroughly relies on collaboration between the players and like understanding between the players and the game master, that something exclusively PvP like a PUBG game might not be super well suited to it.
Right.
But I also don't have any better ideas. My only thought was like Warhammer.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Get some
but I
get
don't
some
actually know how
Warhammer
it's
minis
played.
and just make up some like distance
sheesh.
rules on your.
Yeah, I was I was thinking strictly tabletop, like in like the D&D Pathfinder.
Sure. So solely role playing.
Yeah. But no,
Good idea though,
yeah.
of like playing a scenario, like you guys have level
I mean, I
1
feel like
gear
you.
in a
I
house
feel like
in the
you
middle of
could
the
shit,
circle,
you
you have
could,
to
like-
you could
defend.
probably pretty easily do that with Warhammer. Like, just pick one of the minis in your squad to like quote unquote be.
Dude, you could do it with fucking Risk and like just knock off
Yeah,
countries
that's true.
randomly.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
oh
pretty
yeah,
cool.
like the burn took Australia. Sorry, bud.
Hey,
Have you
fucking
seen
kangaroos.
Have you seen this like
Does Jesse hate kangaroos? New HTKAH cannon dropped.
I know.
Hey,
Jesse hates
Big
kangaroos.
reveal. Dude
nah, I'm
hates.
cool with
His
kangaroos.
inevitable heel turn.
Have you seen the trailers for High on Life?
Oh,
No,
what's
I
that
don't.
about?
Justin, it's Rick and Morty, the video game, essentially.
Okay.
It's so from the co-creator Rick and Morty and Solar Opposites come High on Life, where you have, I guess, you're rescuing these things called Gatlians, and the Gatlians are the guns in your hand.
Oh,
And they all have like
nice.
unique personalities, and they like talk to you. One has like a very definitive Morty kind of
Sure.
thing, and it's actually by Squanch Games, is I guess the studio.
games.
Hey,
So yeah, like
he
it's
did,
amazing.
he did Trover Saves the Universe too.
yeah, okay, but yeah, like it looks good though. I mean, it certainly is scratching all my. It's very colorful. There's bizarre aliens and jokes. So and you're in outer
What
space.
more could you want?
Can you find us? Can you find us a trailer for that, Jesse?
Yep.
Oh, it's it's
Man.
looking
One
good.
more time.
I think you
what was
guys
the name of it?
High on Life.
High on Life. Squanch James. There it is.
Nice. This is the How to Kickflip
Selling
Horse
humans
trailer
is drugs.
premiere
You're the only one that can stop them.
of a game
Really,
that we didn't have
hyperball.
anything
take
to
out
do
the
with.
entire alien drug cartel.
Oh, nice! I love Hyperbomb.
You're just gonna leave me
Yeah,
here?
it's it knows its clientele.
Everybody lives in space, including you. All right, you're a bounty hunter now. You gotta help me rescue my friends. They're Gatlians, just like me.
Hey, why are you squeezing me so tight? How about a little dinner first and some bubble bath maybe first? Look at us, blasting away!
That's cool. It reminds me of the time
Oh yeah, that's one of my children!
whatever
They
the
die fast.
dudes were,
Don't
the
worry, it's easy to
not
make
time
more.
splitters, the dudes from the Rick and Morty episode where they do the time travel and the reality
And-
splits a bunch of times, and then there's
Yeah.
the time agents. They beat up Einstein. They're
They
like,
beat up Einstein.
fuck with time.
Hey there!
I did fuck with time.
I feel fuck with
Yes,
time.
more, I need more
Yeah.
stabbing!
The scene where Rick grabs the time agent's gun and then it's just like a lump of like
Right.
like squealy meat. He throws it into the street and he goes, "You killed my gun, Chris!" One was great.
That seems really sick.
Yeah, this looks good.
Okay, well now.
I want to play Trover Saves the Universe. I heard it was okay.
What's it called?
Trover Saves the Universe.
Rated M for mature.
It's another like first-person shooter. I think it's more like puzzly and probably a little more
Trover saves the universe. It's a
unhinged.
wonderful game that's highly rated by critics and fans. It was written and created by the co-creator of Rick and Morty.
My
and
buddy
Solar
who played it
Opposites.
described it
Really
as
straight up on the market.
9 hours
Around, so nobody
of
really knows about it.
Justin Roiland talking to himself.
Yeah.
Okay, look,
So,
I think my game is pretty
you know.
good. You know, you know, it's really discouraging to hear you guys talk about that. Take that ass kicking and move on.
What was that?
Oh yeah. No, I'm
It
not
looks-
advocating self-harm or anything.
It looks weird as shit, at the very least. I think this one was also originally conceived as a VR game.
I was wondering that.
Money, you know, really cool games.
Yeah, I think originally it was VR, and then they made it be regular controls eventually.
Yeah, it seems like
But it looks cool.
It's a little
I
more of the
bet you.
refined, mature version.
Definitely.
You're gonna fight back?
But they both look cool. I'm totally interested in either one of them. Oh yeah, God. This is something we were talking about before stream. God of War with The Simpsons. Another Simpsons gag on. Okay. I mean, we don't have to have the sound on.
No, we do not.
Kind of its own.
Yeah.
No, we do not.
Keep your eyes out in the future. We are doing we may be doing a God of War feature. Look at the clipping. Oh, this is ludicrous. His arm just inside his whole body. Amazing. I love the internet. What a good place. You guys see that
Always is. Famously so.
Did you guys see what was it? The Naked Gun edited into the Detroit Become Human game?
No, but I'm sure it's great.
This is making me think of that. It's a hoot, man. I saw it and I was like, they really should have just made the game like that. That would have been great.
God, this is so ridiculous.
So while we're watching this, you guys want to either of you guys got any tales from the table? Anyone played any games this week?
Yeah, in continuation of what I was saying last week,
Yeah.
our player has decided not to irrevocably alter the course of time by freezing us within it.
Oh, good. How generous.
Yeah, he's made the deal with the devil, or an empowered imp. You know, slowly.
You're in a maybe not a bad situation, but a wholly unique situation when the deal with the devil is the good option.
It really,
geez.
it really was.
And clearly the text is blue, the bar on the selection wheel is blue. Like, this is the good choice.
Right. And it really wasn't, he didn't really railroad us into this. Like, because as we were, like, kind of walking back, like, the scenario, like, after the session, we, like, saw, like, spots where we, like, could have seen, like, the trap or, like, the thing that had ensnared us and everything. And it was just like, oh, shit. Like, yeah, it was all there. We just kind of, like, stumbled right into it.
Foolish mortals, man.
Yep.
Foolish.
What will they do next?
So remind us what the terms of this deal are.
Generally, it's just 3 favors, and they always seem like relatively mundane, but then they almost always have like dire consequences.
Sure,
Like,
some monkey paw business.
Yeah, like really, like it'll be like, oh, like steal a lamp, and then like, yeah, like the lamp's a genie or something. Yeah, it's always like, God damn it!
The monkey's paw stole me a genie's lamp.
Whoa.
Yeah, honestly, like we've
many
like,
levels of mystic fucker.
It's also like it's just such a gray campaign where we've probably done more. Like the road to hell is paved with good intentions is essentially our campaign. And like we're just like we'll do this. This will be good. And then it's like yes, but like also this. And you're like no. Yeah, but it's great. I love our game. Actually, we are like nearing the end, though. I mean, like, God, I think we've been playing for like 2.5 years now, and
Holy
it's like
shit.
it was like a homebrew. I mean, I was playing with them before our. Well, how long were we doing our thing for?
I think it'll be. I think it's 2 years in October.
Because I had already started on that platform with them prior to kicking off with y'all.
Right.
So I know it was like they were pretty neck and neck, but I knew that it would edge out a little bit on. Also, we have great consistency on that day.
Nice.
Something about Tuesdays seemed to.
That's like
work out pretty
arguably
well.
the most crucial aspect.
Oh my, yeah. I mean, I've said it like a million times. I mean, like it's either like scheduling or like odd social elements that are just so like they're just like, every Reddit is like inundated with like, how do I deal with this person, in some way.
Right.
And you're just like, I'm like, I never have to deal with that. Like,
Yeah, you just have to talk to people like a human, and if someone won't talk to you like a human, you don't have to give them any of your time or attention.
Right.
but like also like very true first and foremost. But like also it's just like I just think maybe I'm just particularly lucky that like I hadn't had
that's
any
true.
like heavy ideaed friend that's like they're really trying to shape the world, everyone's like just wants to exist in it, and they want the story, and they want to like leave their little impression here and there, but like for the most part they're not
main character syndrome.
Yeah, exactly. Everyone's like really willing to just like back off and like,
No,
just-
I am Goku.
yeah. And like everyone in the party for the most part seems to have some, bigger than life destiny, but like they never really like I don't know. Like I could totally play an entire campaign where someone else could definitely be the chosen one for the story. Like that would not bother my experience at all. If anything, I'd probably have more fun than having some like, dumbass
Imagine how freeing that would be to be the dude in the party with the chosen one. You're like, no, he's the chosen one. We can do whatever we want.
Yeah, we're pretty good here.
Yeah, seems like a good guy to latch onto.
Right.
Absolutely.
But so like I just like so lucky there, and like everyone I've always played with has always really been more in it for the RP. Like they want the items, they want the equipment, and like everyone loves building characters, but like when you get bogged down for 45 minutes doing nothing, you realize like these people don't really care about combat. Like they don't care at all.
Sure.
So like I think that's another thing. Like people that are inclined to play the game with that mentality, I think are less likely to, have one-track minds about the game.
Mm-hmm.
But that's pretty anecdotal and just my experience. So, but I don't know. And I mean, I've never really had even a nightmare. Like I mean, like my worst table, Jesso, you were at. Like I mean, it was like like drunk members and stuff like that, and like also we had a DM that had a PC, and that was like, it was like
you've already got all the other characters, dude.
Yeah, it's so funny because like I don't know why I fucking remember this, but we were like in the Underdark or something. Elves were like drow were on top of spiders, I believe.
Classic.
And he had like
spiders.
I remember Thomas's character had like an oath bow. So like if you challenged someone with the bow, like it did more damage, but it did less damage to everyone else. And like he had made an oath against this guy, and he scurried off. And it was like, oh, like that's cool because like now you'll be at a disadvantage attacking anyone else like moving forward for your PC character DM. And then like of course
what weird
like I don't know, within moments that same earlier wounded drow presented itself, and he was able to get the killing shot, thus like fulfilling the oath and like being able to do damage to everyone else. And like so it was just like a little bit like where you're like Okay.
What are you doing, man? You could
like,
have done this by yourself if you wanted to.
I also remember like we were essentially all. I remember I was a cavalier and I had a gun, and like I was just like, oh man, I want to like modify the gun to take like kills from from a beast and modify my gun with it, like pretty much aesthetically.
Oh,
And he was
yeah.
like, yeah, I'll give you like power ups. And then like at one point, like anytime I shot someone, they had to make like a DC 12 like will save against a fear effect. And then we're like, dude, what is going on? Like my guy's become like a killer of like it got out of. We were powered up beyond like well beyond belief. And I think it just happens by accident. But then you're like, oh shit. What do I do with all these godlike characters?
Yeah, that's definitely a thing of. This was Pathfinder, right?
3.5, I think.
Oh.
Actually.
Yeah, I don't
Same
know,
thing.
one
Same
of
thing.
them.
Pathfinder does
Hey.
the same thing where high level Pathfinder play is like I can't even think of anything to compare it to. It's like if every X-Man was the strongest X-Man.
Yes. Look,
Yeah.
I'm watching like
If everyone was a Magneto in their field.
yeah, and it's like especially with Pathfinder, every like encounter was like once at certain points, like yeah, if, like with like a certain crit, like this person could just kill your character, just like absolutely destroy it, you know. And then of course you can like resurrect and do whatever, like keep it alive, but like it just becomes like this like kind of like the Marvel conundrum where your characters become so powerful that you're like, what the fuck are they doing and who is getting in their way? That like, you know, and then you inevitably have, you know,
that's like a challenge of the system is because like at least in my experience, as powerful as the PCs do get in Pathfinder, there's plenty of ways to stump them.
Yeah. I mean, totally. I mean, like the slew of abilities and like the complexity they get, like high level play certainly becomes like a slog though, because like, you know, although you have all these crazy wild like Magneto abilities, like they all like have DCs and
right.
rolls
It takes like 3 more rolls to do everything once you're like above level 10.
So yeah, I mean, even in my campaign, he's like, depending on where it all ends, storyline wise, he's like, I don't normally level up anyone past I think 10 or 12, and we're level 8. Because he's like, I mean, once you get like, say you have a druid and you have like transport via trees or woodland striding or whatever it's called.
that's when like stuff starts getting broken.
Yeah, when you're like, okay, like that's fine, but like you really have to have like a compelling world for these characters to live in, or it's just like, you know, I just couldn't imagine in a homebrew setting with Adventure Pass they really like set everything up for you, you know. But like when you get into these homebrew scenarios, I think that's when they start to, you know, it's like harder to keep it on track and make everything balanced and staying on that.
See, that's kind of the closest I usually get, because like in my games, I run the adventure paths, or my Wednesday game anyway. But the spot that I deviate the most is almost always with the enemies, whether it be replacing them entirely or statting them differently or giving them different abilities that they would otherwise have access to, like aside from the stat block, like stuff that they could conceivably have.
Right.
Just to change the way that they will play, you know, because like as the DM, that's the part of the game that I'm playing, and the thing that I like the most about Pathfinder is that those rules are like the tactical combat rules are on their own very fun.
Oh yeah.
And to have like a cool story and like cool fiction around the stuff, you know, makes it that much better. And like when I can surprise my players or when my players surprise me is, you know, the best part of the game. And like when once you have like level level 15, 16 Pathfinder characters, it does definitely start to get like, what am I going to challenge these dudes with? But Pathfinder has been around long enough that those challenges do exist.
Right.
And ultimately the tactical aspect of the game allows you to win via superior tactics. Even if you're feeling like your enemies are underpowered, there are usually tactical situations that you can use abilities in that your players won't see coming and will be entertained by. Even if it costs them a bunch of hit points.
Oh yeah.
Precious hit points.
I
mean, do you have player death? Do you do player death?
So recently was the closest that we've ever actually got to it.
A single or a TK, like a single person or multiple?
I think I might be misremembering, but I think 3 of the 4 of them dropped to 0, and then had to stabilize at different points. I think either 3 of the 4 of them went down, or 1 of them went down twice, and then another one did too. I don't quite remember. That was a good couple of weeks ago. Lucky for them, they figured out a way to sort of inadvertently. I think I mentioned this either on the last one or the one before this, that they still had a big scorpion robot to fight.
Mm-hmm.
They found out a way to disable it before it had a chance to activate, so that was cool.
Oh hell yeah!
But I think if they hadn't done that, they might have all died.
Oh yeah.
And it was the closest. It was certainly the closest that they have come to a TPK in this campaign or a previous one.
They just could have taken it on. You don't think?
What's that?
You don't think they could have taken it on?
I really don't. I think they were running on fumes and single-digit HP.
Oh yeah.
I think they had like 3 cure light wounds at the end of the fight that they could have used, but like that wouldn't have lasted for very long against the scorpion robot.
No.
But it was a lot of fun. They finally finished chapter 2. This past year has been wild, so chapter 2 took us a whole year, which is unprecedented.
Nice. What were the divergences, you think?
One of our dudes was like in school.
Okay.
At the beginning of the chapter was when another guy moved to Florida.
Okay, gotcha. It wasn't.
So there
like
was just like a lot of
like in-game things long.
No. It was just. I think there was like 3 months in a row where we only had one session. So stuff just took a while.
For sure, life happens. Living life.
Yeah, exactly. But
which is
it was a good time. My other game, Tale, I'm playing in a monthly-ish game called Warlock. Have I talked about this?
Warlock sounds familiar, but I don't remember any details.
Yeah,
so I'm just thinking down.
I thought I had a thing ready for this Warlock.
A fucking drop? You talking about a drop, bro?
Yeah, hit me with the thing.
You had a Warlock drop?
I had a RPG thing. Let's try Warlock OSR, maybe. It's Warlock with the exclamation point. Here we go. Fire Ruby Designs. My buddy Adam, who has actually been a guest on From the Horse's Mouth.
Oh yeah.
Is the DM in this game, and it's basically it's meant to work with the lore of the Warhammer fantasy role-playing game. Okay. But it's just it's like a class-based, or not a class-based, like a what do they call it? Like a job-based.
Oh yeah.
So
are you sending me something to put up?
Yeah, I guess I'll just send the drive-through RPG page. Let me see if I can find. Actually, let me see if I can find Fire Ruby Press, or Fire Ruby Designs. What is it? God damn it. Someday I'll learn how to read. Not today, though.
Overrated.
Fire Ruby Designs. co.uk. Here we go. Sending link to the disc now. Yeah, it's a fun game. The sort of it's like exactly the opposite of Pathfinder in that it's specifically low powered, like a low powered setting where our party is I am a peddler who acts as the fence for two other characters who are grave robbers and sell components to a guy who is trying to become a necromancer.
I love that. You gotta make it work.
Yeah, it's very low powered. It's very like gritty. Relatively not like low stakes because people will definitely kill us, but people aren't out here like throwing fireballs and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But our main mission at the moment, there's this dude named Reichert who's like a werewolf. He's like a magic werewolf. But he's also a pit fighter and a religious extremist who believes that his cult, the cult of Ulrich, should be in charge of the town that we're in. And the dude who's the actual head of the cult disagrees and wants us to embarrass Reichert without exposing him as a werewolf.
Oh.
To avoid drawing unwanted attention to the cult. And because like apparently other people don't think that werewolves exist, or at least werewolves by this method don't exist. So Riker is gonna have a pit fight with a bear.
Word.
What he doesn't know is that we have drugged this bear
Nice.
with a mild hallucinogen to make the fight boring and to make it seem obviously rigged. We have planted bottles of said hallucinogen in Reichert's bunk.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah. So we'll see how that goes. We also we pretended to be couriering for this doctor dude who had like a masquerade ball mask and costume waiting at the store, and we talked our way into getting the store to outfit the four of us for free.
Oh fuck yeah!
As part of the doctor's retinue, and our plan is to just sneak in and then blend in.
That's awesome.
And leave this stupid doctor holding the bag.
Hell yeah! I love that.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
It's a real it's a real fun, real criminal campaign. It's fun just being like scummy little nobodies,
right?
Instead of like world saving heroes. Not that being world saving heroes isn't fun, but being scummy little nobodies has its particular charms. But yeah, good cool system. Like the way it works is so you have your career, which lets you level up 1 to 3 of your skills depending what your DM tells you.
Okay.
But on specifically like a per session basis. And then each skill has like a minimum level and a max level. So to get higher max levels, you have to switch your career.
Okay.
It's an interesting system. It kind of reminds me of Final Fantasy Tactics, a game that I know everyone on this show loves.
Loves it. Love it.
Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it looks like there's a lot of good supplementary material here too, like goblins.
Well, so the other cool thing about it is that it's I don't know what you'd actually call it, but are you guys familiar at all with the OSR or old school Renaissance phenomenon?
I think the concept is vaguely familiar to me, but
No,
it's basically like. Sorry,
I don't know anything about. I don't know nothing about it.
Basically, what's going on is in the last, I don't know, I want to say 5-ish years, probably longer though, to some extent. There's been like a resurgence of people specifically interested in like the first couple editions of D&D.
Yeah. Okay.
So they make games that are compatible with that old material, or that are like more streamlined versions of that stuff. Like the game Knave I was talking about
Right.
is
Right.
meant
Right.
to
Right.
be
Right.
compatible with, with like original Dungeons and Dragons and advanced Dungeons and Dragons stuff, because it's designed to create like essentially a medium character of that system just on its own. And this kind of does the same thing in that there's like the skill stats, and then there's stamina and luck instead of like HP or like action points or anything like that. So it's super easy to just sort of attach a game like this to like the Warhammer material. Because I think there's 6 or 7 editions of Warhammer Fantasy Role-Playing. And I assume this Warp Star is the Warhammer 40k version.
Yeah. Yeah. It looked like it might be some sort of future version.
Some type of sci-fi shit.
Sci-fi shit.
But yeah, super fun game.
super
Super
cool.
interesting system. Not really, haven't really encountered a game with like a straight up like early Final Fantasy job system.
I love that.
Yeah, closest thing, it does a little bit remind me of Burn Bright. Like it's not tied to plot, but like the way the stuff increases kind of made me think of Burn Bright.
Okay. I hear what you're saying.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just like imminently customizable, which I think is fun, and it seems like it does a good job of it.
Do you have hard copies of these books?
I do not. I just bought the PDF on, or actually, Adam might have bought me the copy that I have. But I got it on Drive-Thru RPG, I believe.
Digital. Cool.
Yeah.
That's very cool.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
super interested in trying that.
yeah. Check it out, man. It's good stuff.
Check it
Highly
out.
recommend. And Adam is a good DM. He's good at plotting stuff. I had a moment when we were poisoning the bear. I was like, this is the first time a DM has ever said that and meant it. And it was so I snuck into the kennels, the animal kennels, and found where the bear was being kept. And so it's in like a, not like a cage, but like a stall with just like a narrow slot at the top of the door to basically throw food in. So I took the hallucinogen and soaked it into a piece of bread and a piece of jerky from my trail rations, and threw that into the stall. And Adam goes, "That is a very good idea." And I was like, "Yes, fuck yeah! If you could win at D&D, this is what that would feel like."
Love that instant gratification for you.
Yeah, it was awesome. I think I've more often had the DM like begrudgingly be like, "Yeah, that's a good idea." Never had the hearty support, you know.
Aw. Well, then I really love that for you.
I've been muted.
I was about to ask.
Oh no.
It's okay, it happens.
Or we missed all those good Tommy jokes.
There's only like 1 or 2, no worries.
I bet you they were great.
Real zingers.
I love them.
You guys reckon on going till 10:30 this evening?
Yeah, I can do that.
I think I'm gonna hit the gym at some god awful morning. So I think I'm like waking up around like 5 tomorrow.
Oh wow!
So
I can do a little earlier too. That's fine with me.
Yeah,
I
I
was
was
great last night anyway.
yeah, just typically I was gonna let it slide, but he texted me like 30 minutes ago. Like, yo, you trying to do that gym thing?
Damn.
So,
All right. Well, yeah. Well, then in that case, we can go 20 more minutes.
Yeah.
Sans break. We don't need no stinking break.
I don't need no stinking breaks. We're
Oh
gonna
no. Who needs a break?
raw dog this episode.
Alrighty then.
I love it when you put stuff like that. You got a way with words, man.
Got a real way with words.
Beautifully put.
Did anyone watch Dumb Dragon Show? I have not.
Oh, that shit has
I
no
don't-
appeal to me.
I don't want them to know. I don't want them. If anything, like if I would ever watch him, I think I'd have to bootleg him. I don't want HBO to know.
Don't want to give them money for it.
Right, or even like I want them to think the show was a failure because they fucked up so bad.
Right. They
Right.
don't deserve to succeed.
Did you see that thing that was like, Lord of the Rings is about to be the first show that if it sucks, your detergent is going to get more expensive?
What?
Yeah, I'm trying to.
The Lord of the Rings Amazon show is like record-setting
Oh,
is it
and then-
really? Jesus Christ.
expensive. Yeah.
so you'd obviously recoup the cost.
Man.
But I didn't know that they were budgeted up like that. To be honest, I think the show is probably gonna be bad. I think that like
I can't imagine a world in which it's good.
yeah, like I was a really big fan of the Robert Jordan series, The Wheel of Time, and
Oh yeah,
Let's see.
they
that
bungled that, didn't they?
bungled it is like it was so bad. I mean, so bad.
It was
And,
beyond
like-
What's so bad
bungled.
about it?
So, like, they made some really smart, like, changes, I think, like, to the storyline. So it wasn't, like, that they weren't, like, keeping true to the book or anything, because that was, like, fine and, like, pretty well understood right from the get. Like, they changed, like, you know, character,
Some
like,
stuff was gonna get
yeah,
changed,
just, like,
sure.
some stuff just to,
Jesse,
you know.
can you bring up the Wheel of Time trailer?
But, they, like, it's just, like, bad writing, like, inconsistencies within, like, characters, like, so, like, you know, these Aes Sedai are like the you know the magic wielders of the world, and they're all women because the man's side of the power is tainted. So, like, men that draw from the source of power will go insane. So there's like no men, and the entire order of magic doers are women, but they'll bond with men as wardens, and like this bond is like unspokenly strong. Like they don't go anywhere without each other. It is like majorly. So like it becomes like a pretty big point of contention. Like when one of them has, one of the wardens like has their Jedi or their wizard lady die. You know, and he's like
Mom.
yeah, exactly. He's like devastated, and then they get themselves in like a whole heap of trouble, and then like this one of the wizards is like, I'm just gonna go there without my warden, you know. And this warden is like supposed to be the most badass dude in the world. He's like the last. He's like the king of a land that's been claimed by evil blighted land. So like he has no. His only objective in life is to win an unwinnable war against a horde of enemies. And he's awesome at killing people. And then she just, like, abandons this dude so she can, like, take this, like, inept dude into, like, the heart of darkness. And it's just like, what do you do? Like, and then, yeah, and it's just like, it's so uncharacteristic, and you're like, they're deviating in a way where you're like, holy shit, you're not even into like the real meat of book one. Like there's no way there's a 9-book series or 13-book series. Like you're gonna fuck this up so big that like you know, and like at first I was like hailing like the differences, being like, this is good, this is a good thing. But then like there was just no redeeming qualities to any of the decisions they made. And it was just really bad. And like the cast was really cool. They had like really dynamic cast. They like made sure to To really, I don't know, like make sure that they didn't just throw a bunch of like, white European people in a movie, in a TV show, and it's still like it was just like it was definitely tell that it was like bungled from like I would imagine like from a production level, you know.
Yeah.
And it's just like
watching that trailer, some of it looked like a bit like a WB show.
That's the other thing. The
that makes
nature.
Yeah.
You're better off not using these elements and just using like more traditional whatever than like relying on like poor CGI.
Right.
And
just or come up with like a story idea that can take place in some medieval time or whatever and doesn't rely on stupid special effects.
Yeah.
Like magic and shit. There's plenty of, I don't know.
I know.
Just come up with a new idea. I'm begging you.
Seriously. I mean, I think I've talked about it on Horses before, but like, I just remember reading like, sense like video games and movies. All this is investor return based shit. No one wants to take any fucking risks. So, like, they just never, like, that's why you have, fucking Modern Warfare 12 and Madden, whatever. Like,
what we needed. This is kind of, I've been talking with Jesse about this a fair amount, but this kind of becoming the thesis statement of my, God of War essay. This sort of, the risk aversion of all media being sort of ushered in by I'm calling it the dumbening or the Disney-fying or Marvel-fying of media. But here's a fun little preview. I asked Jesse this earlier. Between the release of God of War 3 in I don't remember what year that was. Let me find the text message. No, God of War 3 came out. There's my whole intro. Here it is. God of War 3 in 2010 and God of War 2018. How many Marvel movies do you think came out in that span of time? That's 8 years.
Oh my gosh, probably like 16.
Pretty close. 14.
Yeah, you like nailed it.
That's gross. That is gross. And it should come to no surprise that, he's moved his ass up to Midgard or wherever the fuck he wants to be. They've abandoned like the entire Mediterranean sphere, and then they're like, no, it's like Teutonic shit. Yeah. It's the popular one from the TV.
Thor. I feel like there's a laziness to it that is only attributable to the Marvel movies.
That would be so funny if Marvel Thor came up in fucking God of War.
Oh my god, if God of War Ragnarok opens and it's Marvel Thor at the beginning and Kratos just murders the shit out of him, I'll be like, I'm back on board.
That would be instead of Homer, we'll just do Chris Hemsworth getting fucked up, or I guess it's Flanders.
Yeah. That would be awesome. Dear internet, please do that.
Yeah, right. Powers that be.
Awesome.
Let's
see, anything else I got written down here? I wanted to recommend the podcast Cartelian Clamor.
Cartelian Clamor.
It's Cartelian with a K. Aartelllian. This is the podcast of the dudes that did the game Mork, which is another sort of OSR adjacent.
Have you played
game.
that?
I have not. I have seen. I believe I've seen the free version of the rules, and I think I read like an adventure for it or something, or some type of extra stuff on it. But it's like the coolest looking book I've ever seen for sure.
It looks insane.
That's the biggest. I was reading that. Like I looked at it and I was going over the rules. I was just I think like
music vinyl.
That was a couple months back. I forget what actual play podcast did it, but like they just did like a really short run with it, and I remember being like enamored with the whole idea of it.
Yeah, I like this one. This is cool.
Yeah, the one that you have up on screen right now, Jesse, is a cassette tape that accompanies one of their published adventures.
Oh, love that.
You gotta love that.
My buddy, he's like an old friend of mine. We don't keep up very often, but he really is a cool dude. But he is like in a couple metal bands, like prog metal bands and stuff. But one of the projects, he did some of the like guttural throat singing that was in Doom.
Oh,
The newest Doom. So he was one of like 30 some guys that all like did that, and it was like that was really cool. But he's in like a podcast that's just like a story, but like he's like one of the like a warrior, like that, whatever. And then I think that he has they like got him in a band or like to do music that directly accompanies a actual play or a tabletop RPG. So like you'll play like the songs and like they'll like recap the story or something. I'm not exactly sure, but he like did it's like so cool, and like I remember like
sort of like Skate Wizards from a couple episodes ago. The whole album that goes with that.
Yeah, and like
it's very cool.
It's such a cool thing, and like watching him pursue his voice acting has always been like just like it's just so cool, and his voice is it's so deep and it's so buttery, and he's just always. And my favorite story of his is when he's telling us a story of the time he met someone with the deepest, smoothest voice. And he was like, so I was in tour in Toronto, and I met this one dude, and he came up to me, and he was like, yo, brother, and I just had to tell him, like, he had the sickest, deepest voice. And we're like, were you talking to yourself, bud? Like,
right.
That's just great.
Holding two walkie-talkies.
Yeah, I realized it was only my left ear catching the sound of my beautiful voice. But
it's my beautiful voice.
His name is James Dorton. He's a great dude. His bands are like Black Crown Initiate, and then he just started another. He's still in that one project, and I think that's his longest running one. But he's taking over like lead vocals in another band, and I think that's kind of like a big deal. I think they're called like the Faceless or something.
Good for them.
Yeah. That is cool.
Hell yeah.
Clamp down on.
Tool fans are the deadheads of our day.
They really are. But I really haven't met the Tool fans that I met like in so many years. Like the most excruciating Tool fans. I haven't really seen them, nor have I been like on the drugs that would bring them out. So
yeah, I had to not like.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
No, I'm not gonna hold that against anyone because that would be a ridiculous way to conduct myself.
Yeah, and actually, I find the things that I'm most interested in. I would find more people like least interested in. Like the thing that I'm like, oh, like there's something like sumo. Like I rarely think at any point in my day. So I'm me or you.
You're someone else who wants to talk to me. Who is
okay. So, hey, do you think the Eagles are going to do good this season?
I have no frame of reference for that because I don't watch sports.
Great.
Now you never talk to me about it again.
No. I get it.
That's the
I get it. So, like, my thing is, like, okay, so generally when I'm in a situation where someone's, like, trying to have this kind of conversation with me, like, oh my God. And it's like, dude, you're just in these people's house. Like, all you have to do is leave. You know, like, and it's just, it's the worst, man. I mean, people in the service industry, it's funny. It's definitely something, like, I can commiserate with a lot of people that just, like, oh, you had to go into a stranger's house, and they just, like, spewed news at you, just bullshit like news at you, and then like half truths where you're like you want to correct them, but to even
It's still not
tackle,
worth it.
you would have to back up. Like
We always have a good time just hanging out and talking shit about the stuff that we enjoy. And we hope that you enjoy hanging out and listening to us do it every once in a while. Next week, I believe Paul is still out. He is in Canada, as far as I'm aware. International man of intrigue.
Good for him.
Yeah, totally. I hope he's having a blast. Safe travels, Paul. But Ari will
We
be
miss you,
back.
Paul.
So if the rest of us are here for that, I reckon that'll make it a 5th edition week.
Hell yeah.
And then the week after that, I think will be either our finale or our semi-finale.
Oh, I'm very much looking forward to that.
Burn Bright. Yeah, me too.
hell yes.
And yeah, and then we'll and then who knows what we'll do from there. But the only way
Sky's
to
the limit.
find out
Yes.
is to tune in here or on YouTube, which I'm sure you can find as an adult with a web browser. You can also find us on the Instagram at How to Kick Flip a Horse. We got some other stuff down here in the bottom. You can check out other stuff, friends of ours, and our own Instagrams. And yeah, there's all types of stuff. And
All types of
we
fucking stuff.
will see you guys next time.
Bye, y'all.
Good night. Say good night,
Good night,
everyone.
y'all. Good night, everyone.
Good night, y'all.